좀 많이 쉬어가지고 전 같진 않은데 그래도 며칠 전부터 그 연습 시작했으니까 이제 다시 예전처럼 이렇게 잘 해줘야지. 이렇게 팀원 중에 한 명 선택하면은 난 서포터 동현이를 선택할 거고 동현이한테는 이제 1년 같이 했고 이제 또 1년 같이 해야 되는데 이제 지금도 전처럼 다시 열심히 해서 잘해봤으면 좋겠다고.
There you go, some quick thoughts from Mystic about his support. Ben, FLICKR, I know you want to have a few things to say about that.
Yeah, I like the fact that Mystic actually brought up, returning to their previous state because they wanted to take a long rest. People don't realize that Team WE never stopped playing. They were our Rift Rivals representative, our MSI representative, our Worlds representative, and 957 even went to All-Stars, and then they came back and did Demacia Cup. So Team WE definitely deserve a very long break and a very long rest before they ramp back up into competitive form.
Yeah, especially the bottom lane that have been high value for them throughout the year.
Yes, we'll have to see how they do coming into this next game. But before we break down game number 2, let's kind of recap that last match. Any final thoughts on game number 1 before we start breaking it down again?
Just do anything, Biibili. Don't just watch yourself passively lose a game.
That's pretty. I'll just echo that statement. I actually appreciate that. Really well put.
Well, let's see if Biibili Gaming do anything going into game number 2. It's a relatively low kill game, but a very fast-paced one for Team WE standards. Heading into this next match, Raz, I know you have some things to say about pick and ban. Something has to change for Biibili Gaming, and Team WE, now that on the red side, have more opportunities to exploit that.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm usually a man that loves the creativity when it comes towards mid lane counter picks, if you can play them, and if you can support the pick. So if it comes down to something like a Xerath, a Fizz, whatever you want, I want to look towards the bottom lane and say, well, then your pick priority should be giving them priority like a Varus pick to really get the pushing wave going for them. Not giving away Kog'Maw, not giving away Tahm Kench, because those two picks are incredibly strong as you scale up, but also kind of deny a lot of early portions of the game, deny a lot of picks, and
yeah,
I just don't like it.
If you're going to give away late game scale like Kog'Maw and Azir, you have to do something in the early game. So grab the tools if that's the trade you're going to make, because Team WE, we've always said it about them, they do have this massive hole in their game plan where if you hit them pre-15 minutes, a lot of time, especially if Condi's not there, they're not going to hit back. But if you just kind of watch them scale up and do their own thing, chances are they're going to style on you in 27 minutes.
Speaking of which, we haven't seen Condi play yet for Team WE. It's still Melon stepping in. He didn't have a great start to the LPL, but Team W was still able to pick up the victory in their first match. What do we think of Melon now after playing a game against Biibili Gaming?
I think he's starting to fit in well. I think specifically the last game that we saw a big part, and even though some of the Sejuani ults didn't hit properly, he threw 3 in the mid lane, one of them stuck and one of them got the kill. But it's a good idea that he kept going towards the mid lane. He recognized that that was the winning position from WE, and so it looked really well for them.
And it speaks to the strength of WE that they can slot in a different jungler and still find similar results.
Well, we're about to get into that second match. Raz, before we get into this game, is there anything you want to say to those shoutcasters who, were BMing you over there? Because it's not nice. You didn't get to defend yourself. Now it's your chance to go on the attack, Raz.
Oh, no, I ain't got to say anything. I'm a man of class, man of dignity. I'll just let them talk themselves up.
Well, let's see what happens over at that casting desk. We're going to send it over to Pulse as well as Rusty.
Cheers, Fish. Now, counterpoint, Your Honor, we had the real reason what was wrong with that Biibili comp. Now, Zach, what was the problem?
No, you just said it. That was the problem. Nice one. That was an accidental pun. Raz, I respect you as a human. I would never BM you. Why would you even expect that? Let's get into game number 2, Pulse.
Yeah, the real problem was the jungle there. And now, was it the pick itself or was it SKS? Because I feel like it may have been a bit of column A, bit of column B.
Well, I mean, to echo what the desk said, do something, right? That's the problem isn't necessarily the pick. The problem is more so that they didn't do anything. And they should do something proactively and try and make a play. If you're losing a game of League of Legends, there's 2 ways that you can play it out, right? You can minimize your losses and consistently try and minimize until you feel like you're at least strong enough to give fighting a go. But with how well WE were playing, I don't think we'll ever see that from BLG again in the second game. Just recognize that WE are able to close out before 30 minutes, basically not against anyone at all. So now you have to be aggressive, you have to fight, you have to make proactive plays if you ever feel like you're behind against them because of how well they played.
Now, what I will say is it seems to be a reoccurring theme in the LPL is that when you're behind, don't fight. And that seems very strange, but particularly the teams we're seeing doing it, like Biibili Gaming and like OMG. they literally rolled over and died as well. I was like, hang on, this is the team who try and fight their way out of a tough situation.
Yeah, they respond with fists, but there were no fists to be seen then, and there hasn't been so far from BLG just yet. But we have swapped sides, and we are in the second draft.
We have indeed, yeah. Biibili Gaming are now on the blue side, banning away Zoe, Cockmore. There's the Cockmore ban, so we will have none of those first pick shenanigans once more from WE, and they will ban away Alistair and Camille again from AmazingJ.
Yeah, the Camille ban, pretty much out of necessity. Gangplank's the other top lane ban that we're seeing, taken from AmazingJ quite a lot, but never really in the first ban phase, or at least not from Team WE so far. Being on the red side does give a counterpick to the Team WE roster, and I wonder if that's ever going to be 957 in his wildest dreams, or will Xiye just be the one who continues to get that?
Now will be the final ban from Biibili Gaming. Look back towards WE now. 957 was an absolute monster on that now, especially if Biibili want to pick up the Gangplank again for AmazingJ on the top side.
Malzahar's also a decent ban here, take it away from Athena, one of the easiest champions to generate picks with, regardless of the jungler, but this time around they don't opt into that route. It's still going to be a mid lane / top lane choice, but it's not the Mals.
No, it is not. It is the Vladimir, actually, towards Biibili. Athena did play that, but it wasn't super effective, though something that you don't necessarily want to deal with when you get there in the end.
So far in this series, even through the bans and the picks, we're yet to see the Jarvan crop his head up at all. There was in the second ban phase of game number 1 from Team WE. But with an early Sejuani locked in by BLG, the jungler 100% cemented. I mean, WE respond, they could probably pick their duo lane if they want the bottom right now. Kalista's just so good.
Yeah, including Ornn on top of that. Ornn is a flex pick. 957 can take it to the top side, but this could indeed also be the bottom lane. Kalista not banned in this, and Sejuani for Biibili Gaming. Actually, SKS will get his hands on this one, so also denying it from Melon has been the pick that he's been defaulting towards so far.
AmazingJ does love his carries, so we'll see if he opts into something of the like to try and combat the Ornn in the second game. So now we're back to posters.
Yep, I do wonder if there is a problem with champions. No, there isn't. It's fine. No worries. There is the Gangplank. Surprise. I've got to hide that one from you. Yeah, Gangplank was in fact the pick here for AmazingJ into the top lane. There's no Gnar that he has to deal with now.
No, there's no Vladimir, there's no Gnar. Options that you would pick into Gangplank. There's still definitely things... Yeah, look, Urgot. Thank you. It has been done, so I'm not going to discredit you on this instance.
Yeah, I don't know if that was more of a Gimgoon special, but Biibili Gaming will pick up the Varus actually now for the bottom lane, and Jarvan on the opposite side for Melon, so we'll go towards the jungle pick there. Something a bit more aggressive, has a bit more fighting power.
Yeah, so the Varus into the Kalista, alongside Tristana, one of the good laning matchups. It has a lot of wave clear and a lot of lane presence regardless of who the support is. Now, there are supports being banned by Team WE away from Biibili Gaming. I feel like it doesn't matter too much, however. Road's still going to be able to pick up as he'd please. They get rid of the Tahm Kench, which is very good, into Ornn, but so is Braum. And so I feel like that'd have to be their second ban if they're committing along the path of let the engage of Team WE successfully engage onto the Varus.
You would expect so, but there is also a chance that Ornn goes to the top side. Would also be able to deal with the Gangplank matchup. We saw that before, though the Gangplank actually did in the end get the better of the Ornn somehow, some way in the top side. And it will be again another Taric ban from WE on that side, so they have left open the Braum pick.
That means Team WE getting the first pick phase on the red side should actually lock in that Braum for themselves. I feel like that actually rounds out the team composition to be very good. Tahm Kench, Taric, and Alistar all banned. It leaves Shen as an option as well, if they choose. Something that could rotate towards the top side of the map. Unsealed Spellbook Shens have been running rampant in the LPL in the first week.
Cassinan final ban towards, of course, Xiye in the mid lane. It's something to be feared, and plus they have the red side final pick, so what they actually want to bring into that mid lane that Cassinan could do well against.
You know, aside from the Zoe, there's been pretty much no mid laners looked at whatsoever until the second ban phase. LeBlanc and Cassinan gone, but when you look at the meta mid laners that are still up and available, Malzahar and Azir are still very much there. They could be looked at no problems at all.
Absolutely, Malzahar, he's very much found himself in the first phase of bans in most games. Braum, and be that pickup from WE here, so that has been taken away. Biibili have lost a lot of priority on that support pool now. Not a lot left out for them. There is a Shen if they want to.
I do think they have to go with the Shen and the Azir. Just add an extra tank to the repertoire of their entire team composition. I think would round it out quite nicely. Azir's a lot of good scaling damage. Gangplank's the same, and Varus is always going to be doing damage throughout the game. This is the other way to do it, I suppose.
Yeah, Janna was banned out last game, but that was by BLG, and specifically because it was a Kog'Maw on the opposite side, but they could also pick it up. Now, Azir is the pickup for the mid lane for Athena. I'm not going to talk about it until it's locked in. But yeah, Azir, very much the classic lock-in. 3 seconds left on the support.
And they do opt towards the Janna opposed to the tank. Something that can provide tankiness, so to speak, with the Monsoon, with the shields there. To give a bit of extra laning presence to Athena, who's already going to do quite well in that lane. And the last pick does get to be a counter if they choose towards the mid lane for Team WE, towards pretty much the MVP of the LPL so far, and Xiye has been playing out of his mind.
He absolutely has. In fact, WE just have crazy KDAs right now because it's just been, you know, smurfing in bronze pretty much. I mean,
did
they just
Xiye
came
die in the last game?
I don't think so. I mean, they only had 1 death, right? Because it was at the very end of the game, so.
True.
Very unlikely. You've got a 20% chance of it being Xiye. I don't think it was.
Well, if he hasn't, then he just hasn't died in the LPL and is the only one on Team WE.
I mean, even if he has, then it's still a very high KDA. Right now, he'd just be operating at infinite, so. But the final pickup was Ryze into the mid lane, and he's pretty much just going to protect his KDA even more because it will have that combo if he has to Zhonya's and ult out.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know if you guys watched the EU LCS last night, but I'm having flashbacks already. I'm traumatized by the amount of times that Exile used the Ryze ultimate Zhonya's combo. He lived the game golden. But he overextended to bait the enemy team on purpose. Like, the game was literally, I will overextend, and they will come to me.
And then when they do that, go get something. And that's our game plan. The end.
It was rough. Anyway, we do have a Ryze again in this game, and that is one of the strengths of Ryze as a champion, and one of the things that can be brought about from Team WE compositionally, especially around mid-game when most Ryzes switch towards the teleport before the Ghost iteration of the Unsealed Spellbook changes.
So as we get into the second game, we've got 2 compositions that very much want to scale. I mean, especially the Ryze getting in there, the AD carries as well. We'll see some early skirmishes. I want to see Biibili get out onto the map. And this time there's no Zac shenanigans. This is going to be the Sejuani and the first pick as well from BLG.
You know, when it comes to laning matchups and early game control, something that is required for both of these teams, you know, last game WE had it and they just steamrolled their way through the entirety of it. BLG do need to have some kind of early presence. Now, they picked a Varus, which I think is the correct call. It adds a lot of lane control in the 2v2. The Janna's just going to once again focus on empowering Jinjiao, and he's a very good carry player when he's empowered and allowed to get going. So hopefully he plays his little heart out, because he's going to have to. He's going to have to provide another winning lane for BLG. Gangplank versus Ornn is kind of a skill matchup. Ornn's always going to push, but if Gangplank plays it exceptionally well, we have seen kills coming out for the GP on the flip side. AmazingJ is a good enough player to try and make that happen, but 957's fairly indomitable as you go with top laners.
There was actually some BLG chants in the crowd.
I just feel like BLG should go before Team WE so that it's not as embarrassing in the same way. You know, like, yeah, I want to be surprised by Team WE's noise.
That's always how you do it. You do the bigger team second. That's one for you. If you ever get into hosting, then it's a huge thing. Because otherwise it's like, oh. And here we go into game, BLG and Team WE.
You don't want a whoopsie-daisy moment.
Yeah, but that's very much in the hands of the fan clubs that are down there, in fact. Road and Jinjiao, they've got the Varus and the Janna matchup. Or the pickups, rather, 93%.
I see the percentage has shifted towards WE a little bit more so.
Shocker. I will say a lot of people jump ship in this region when it comes to the fan votes. But that's first tower. Who's going to pick up the first tower?
Yeah, okay. That kind of makes sense.
Fair.
I actually think that it's going to go to BLG on the bottom lane outer. That is my prediction. It is not a bold prediction, but I also don't know why I'm making it. I am just asserting myself. I'm going to do, unlike Raz, I'm going to make statements.
Oh, yeah. No fence sitting in this test. Absolutely none of that. Again, on the bottom side, what have we got? So we've got 2 Relic Shields, as per normal, on Mystic and Ben. Goes to the side, Spell Thieves for Road, actually. Spell Thieves standing on Janna?
It's matchup dependent. If you're into a tank, you can absolutely go Spell Thieves, right? You're going to be able to proc it constantly, and in terms of gold, that is where you want it as Janna. And then you're looking at perhaps the move speed to stay alive, and against the composition that WE have, it's not a bad choice if you're able to hit the Howling Gale and just actually Usain Bolt out of there to keep yourself alive.
Let's see a look at top lane. It's going to be a Corrupting Potion to start into a Durran Shield from Ornn right here. He's already got the initial push as well, so AmazingJ to set up the wave so he can last hit these.
We were talking about it yesterday. There's only two ways a Gangplank can play a top lane, and that is queuing the enemy or queuing the wave. And Ornn tends to be a queue the wave matchup just because you can't deal with the amount of push that he has so early on.
It's not a push, and as soon as he walks into lane with Durran Shield, it's like, yeah, I'm actually just not going to queue you ever. Instant flash away, and a cleanse as well. Athena keeps doing that. Every time he sees the enemy jungler, he just mashes both of his panic buttons and runs away.
Yeah, the cleanse wasn't necessary. I think he just expected the knock-up to hit, perhaps, and wanted to cleanse flash his way out.
Yeah, if it was a QE flash from Melon.
Yeah, but he's alright in the end. Both summoners are gone. SKS has no health. He's not nearby, and they haven't spotted the Melon, who definitely just saw SK's recall, so he's coming back.
Melon is en route, and he's in place. Flag, drag, knock-up, auto-attack, and, I mean, who could have expected that one coming? A repeat gank there from Melon, first blood.
That is actually clinical from Team WE, going to the same lane where they get the summoners from before, but I didn't expect it to be a dive. I didn't expect it to be that aggressive, but still super well done from them. And the real reason that that is allowed to happen at all, which is super cool to see, is they've got a minion dematerializer on the Ryze, who on a cannon wave, killed the cannon, and then they just dove with the cannon, so there's going to be a wave there. Very good timing from them.
Results in first blood. And Melon is actually starting to get to the point where he's able to temper his aggression and his defense. Like, he's integrating into the team very well, and this is, what, like his third, fourth game on the team? Maybe fourth, I think, right?
Yeah, fourth
because they got the 2-0. So, yeah, Melon is actually doing exceptionally well to get those kills over to his laners, and they can do the rest.
The one thing that we have noticed from Melon is, whilst he doesn't often make very active and constant plays, when he does, he's diving. Like, when he does make that movement, he is so far into that decision that no one's going to slow him down and stop him when he's got his stride on.
That's KS. He's located Melon. He takes away his Grump. Melon isn't particularly happy about this, though his bot lane can't react as they are pushed in, so Melon has to flag and drag away.
Yeah, he's a level down, so the smite was at a disadvantage for WE's jungler. He made the gank, so that wins the middle lane, but SKS actually makes a very smart move and goes into the jungle and tries to change the tide of what has been happening in the first game, maybe make some extra proactive steps.
He's getting into the jungle there, but I'd like to see him start trying to affect these lanes. I mean, bot lane's already pushing, so fair enough, but mid lane, I need to try and do some catch-up work there. Top lane is actually consistently being shoved in because 957, while he's on, into a Gangplank matchup, so potential to see him go up there.
We'll have to see how Xiye goes with timing on that ward as well. The wolves have literally just spawned, so that is very well done. If it's Melon communicating or if it's Xiye communicating when to place the ward, the wolf camp. They get vision now of if Sejuani wants to show herself on that side. Instead is doing Krugs, but through process of elimination kind of is on the bottom side of the map after the invade. Isn't it Raptors because there's already a ward there? Isn't it Wolves? Is either in bases or at Krugs.
I'm getting very concerned about the top lane right now as we get the coin getting picked up by AmazingJ, so the banker flank is in play. Teleports back towards the top lane, but this is a big CS lead right now, and he will maybe get 3 or 4 minions from this next minion wave crashing, but that's still like a 20 CS lead of not like an 18. That's 3 minion waves that 957 has.
Yeah, it's an unreasonably large deficit for 5 minutes into the game, Paul. Something has happened up in that top lane to shift the tides. You don't expect the GP to be winning it, but you also don't expect to double his CS at 5 minutes as an Ornn into a Gangplank. Gangplank's just really difficult to take down and kill, and all I've seen so far is that was a teleport Ornn somehow, is actually just pushing him in. Gangplank under turret. Surely he can't miss that much CS.
Yeah. I mean, the most depressing thing, and now he's got the coin, so at least he gets something from those missed CS, right? But the most depressing thing is he went back with not quite enough gold to finish either the Sheen or the Phase, so just picks up an item of both of those items.
And you could be 10 odd CS down because your your Klepto will make up for it. You've also got the coin there, as you mentioned, so a bit of extra gold income, and then the Q. So he's trying to make as much money as he can to compensate. It's just that the difference there is so substantial that I don't think it'll really ever make up that difference until we get to 15 to 20.
It is staggering, but now we just want to see him at the very least just try and even up that CS. Gets to the point where it's only going to be 20 in difference between them instead of getting worse and worse and worse. But we'll see how that one goes. SKS hasn't even touched the top side, but there are many, many wards up there. There is a control ward, got a crab going down, another ward in the jungle, so pretty much wherever SKS goes, he is being tracked.
There's the teleport for Xiye into the middle lane as well. Ryze starting to change up those things. There's another minion dematerializer on the cannon, and you can see how straight away he has control of mid lane. He has the push, and he's able to time that now where if he wants to assist his jungler, he can, but he's going to go pick up the blue buff instead. So SKS with a well-timed decision to go into the enemy red buff, knowing full well that no one's going to be there to stop him, even though Xiye has control of mid lane.
Yeah, it is good. Again, bot side control goes over to WE here, though they haven't placed down that many wards. First dragon of the game will be Mountain, which is another very valuable first dragon to have in the game. 957 walking back up here. Let's see how he plays this laning phase. So we haven't seen a bunch of it, but I think he's just constantly using his Bellower's Breath here. SKS has spotted him, but he just dashes away.
Walks it out. There's no crowd control from a Gangplank unless the keg hits or if the ultimate's used to slow him. And with a full health Ornn, I mean, it just pushes him back, maybe alleviates some pressure for AJ to try and farm the wave out, maybe reset some control and tempo in that top lane 1v1. It was more of a, I have the red buff, let's have a look.
Yeah. Let's give it a shot. I mean, 957 at the very least. Maybe they burn his flash, maybe they burn his ultimate, but so hard to kill Ornn. He's just resumed position in front of AmazingJ's tower.
Yeah, and Melon has immediately responded. He's on the bottom side at the Krugs. That sets himself up for a bottom lane gank or for the enemy red buff with the vision that they've got. Kalista's also throwing some wraiths out to have a look down there as well. As far as timing goes, if WE's bottom lane has 30 seconds, if the clock doesn't turn yellow on that red buff, then it may work out for them. It's just that Melon's wasting a lot of time.
Yeah, we'll jump onto the dragon though. He's level 6 and has a Stalker's Blade and a longsword, so he should be able to sell away here. But she is going to come down and help him anyway. Yep, is the slowest attacking dragon. Oh, going to be an ultimate from AmazingJ. He's got SKS here, but he's coming in from the bottom side in the river. It's going to be down on this ultimate, but while he gets the stun, 957 will force a flash as well. So AmazingJ now has the flash advantage.
They gave it a red hot crack pulse. I like that they gave it a go. And unfortunately, trying to take down an Ornn is not one of the easiest tasks that you'll ever do on Summoner's Rift. 957 still controlling.
Yeah, he's just going to jump on AmazingJ, and that's essentially the lane. He's got the Grasp of the Undying, so every one of these trades is going to make him more and more healthy. AmazingJ will probably take a drip back to base. But now there is the opportunity for SKS to try top lane again in a little while, because there is no flash there. And there's Rogue jumping on top of him, flashes, ignites, and then comes Athena, sweeps up the kill.
Yeah, I didn't want to comment on it until I saw it, but I had a feeling that Road, by playing Janna, by having Ignite, and by having Airy, was going to be one of those guys. You know, those guys that nobody likes, that maxes W and has Ignite as Janna. That was a lot of damage from Road just there on the Melon. Does rip him apart.
100% a W max Janna. One of the worst.
Gave him some boots early as well, 9 minutes and 30 seconds because of the assist, so it's a nice little bonus to get, not just the assist on the kill, but move faster back to your lane.
And again, Road getting caught now on the bottom side, and they know that he doesn't have flash. Though he just popped the Monsoon, in comes the Fate's Core, he pops the perfect
SKS
timing.
is in.
In comes SKS, does he have the ultimate? No, he does not from the previous engagement. Though Mystic may fall anyway, the knock-up still connects. That was a long-range tornado.
And I understand what WE were trying to do. The no summoner spells there for Road. You can 100% look at him, try and take him down. But the perfect timing, the stopwatch was available, and he survives for long enough that SKS comes in, and Jinjiao was freely hitting the entire time. WE, they overstep their bounds. They try and take something where it backfires. And now BLG get that turret.
And frankly, just props to SKS, because he was in the right place at the right time, comes in for the counter gank, gets the kill, takes the tower, first blood tower as well, and this is now a lead to Biibili, the first one they've had in this entire series.
And all 93% of you WE fans are wrong, and I was right.
Well, they still have to win the game. Oh, that's
no,
no question.
true.
It was the first tower. You're absolutely right. You were the 7%.
Even called the tower.
Fair enough, Rusty. You win this round.
I'm actually trying not to make a joke about Raz there for no particular reason.
AmazingJ. Is actually pushing up now. 957's being very cautious just because he knows the bottom tower's down. He hasn't seen the bot lane in a long while, so doesn't want to get caught out by them.
And this is a good move from BLG going towards top lane. They're not going to kill 957. That's very unrealistic without Varus ultimate, without a lot of summoners available. But they're pressuring. They're sending everybody up here for the purpose of taking down the structure. Now, 957 has got the horn. He can sound that to clear the entire wave if the rest of his team doesn't make it in time. But best case scenario is he saves it. He uses it to actually engage when they finally get here.
There's also SKS, but they weren't able to execute the dive fast enough. So Melon has arrived, including Cavalry and Ben and Mystic. So now 957 can be relieved of duty, go back to base and walk towards the bottom side. In the mid lane, though, Xiye has been pinned down by SKS. Athena sending up that one, but it's a dash back. Athena's going to catch him as soon as he comes out of this, but it's slightly mistimed on the Conquering Sands.
Yeah, I don't know if they were going to kill him even if the Q connected. Xiye survives, but that was very clean from BLG. Azir shifting him into the Sejuani ultimate. It looks super clean. The damage is good. The control they get of the middle lane is also great. But it was an Abyssal Mask Ryze. He's super tanky right now with that single item spike already on the board for the mid laner of Team WE. He does walk away.
He does, but he had to use a stopwatch for that privilege, and he's got the ultimate down on top of that. So still an advantage to Biibili, and they're just being way more proactive in this game, which is exactly what we wanted to see. They clearly went backstage and said something and came with the right game plan. So
what are you doing, bro?
Rogue just walked up to Melon and Ben, comes in with a W, and he's just like, what are you going to do?
That was the closest thing you'll see in a professional game to a tactical int, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not actually sure why he stood still and tanked the Gromp in range of Braum's Q. Alas, he did it, and he has paid for it with his life, WE, and now threatening top lane.
Well, I'm glad someone put him in his place, because he can't be allowed to keep getting away with it.
Oh, he deserves it for what he was doing just then.
Yeah, Janna players who max W do deserve that. Now Mystic will push the top tower. And pushing this one as well, but Jinjiao, he's got no support because Bro died, so he's just sat here in a bush, waiting for support to arrive so he can push up to the tower. Hello.
Road's on the way. He's very quick with his boots of mobility and the fact that he is Janna, so he's going to stride on back, and now he's going back to the jungle. So Jinjiao, for about a half second, thought he was able to walk up to this turret, but it's already gone.
Yeah, it's already gone, and Road's left him again, so Mystic and Ben will take the tower, even up the tower trade, all in all. And Xiye now also gets priority over the top side of the map, which includes a newly spawned blue buff.
And Herald. They're doing it simultaneously. They'll get the blue buff, they'll get the Herald, they get the top lane outer turret, and this is that moment where Biibili Gaming's response is firstly impossible, just because of what happened when transpired before it, and secondly because they need to recall, they need to get these item spikes. They're not really able to pressure any lanes. It was just set up in WE's favor, and then Road made the mistake.
Yep. Which is just, you know, very bad in that situation because W picked up absolutely everything on the top side of the map, and they got the dragon early on top of that. Ocean Dragon spawning in 30 seconds, and WE can now just move back towards the bottom side if they want to try and control that. Still have the duo in the top lane.
You could look towards bottom. I would actually hope that they look towards the middle lane and utilize the Herald for that in some way if they bring the Kalista and Braum about and have Jarvan nearby. It's one of the hardest turrets that they will be able to crack just because of Azir's wave clear, where I feel like, yes, Gangplank has wave clear, but you can mismatch the long lanes with the AD carry and support there. 957, he's alright.
Yeah, he screams angrily, and SKS says, actually, maybe not on this one. He'll just resume farming in the bottom side. He's already gone for the initial Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yep.
So we'll get some more health after this so he can increase his effective health. But unfortunately, I've seen every top lane Ornn do so far, even when behind, which can sometimes be disastrous.
Iceborne Gauntlet, Abyssal Mask is one of the other strong ones as well, but Ryze already has it, so we'll see which route he goes. If it's straight towards something like an adaptive helm instead to be super tanky.
Could be very good here, especially into Athena. Dragon has been started. It's already down to half, and Kalista's amassing stacks here, so that's definitely going to go over to WE. AmazingJ's keen, but the rest of the team wants to disengage.
SKS has smoked the wall down. It has disrespected him, and he has squared up and destroyed it. It doesn't mean that they're going to go towards the Drake whatsoever, though. They have to back away with no Sejuani ultimate as it completely whiffs, and WE just take the objective.
And now here's the problem, because WE have done that thing again, where they've managed to get control over the map. And while it's not the tangibles, you can't look at the gold and be like, oh yes, they have a 5,000 gold lead, but you look at the map and you just know that they have control. And many teams get into this situation, and then they just sit there and die. Now, Biibili Gaming, they did it last game, but they have been more proactive this game. So I'm hoping they'll try and find those opportunities again, specifically from the back of SKS.
To add a bit of context to this as well, this is the second set in a row that Team WE have played where it feels like their opponents have done nothing in certain points to respond to it whatsoever, except for right now.
Yeah, Xiye getting knocked back. Good stuff from Athena. He'll flash away. Teleport being used and cancelled by 957.
But the thing you have to, I guess, respect WE for is, if it's two sets in a row and it looks like no one's able to do anything in response to them, is it just because WE are that good at bleeding people out, at preventing you from making plays, at setting up vision, controlling the map, and playing just slow enough to stop you from getting those movements off? I feel like that is starting to become more and more prevalent, as Biibili are making desperate moves to engage, knowing they have to, and I don't disagree with the sentiment behind it. The execution has clearly been a little bit off. WE is threatening mid lane now.
It's definitely true, but at some point you do have to try. There's a zoning ramp as the Herald comes in. BLG are able to defend against this one push, but it was the mid tower that already went down. Second mid turret's at half, and WE got what they wanted.
Yeah, they already got the mid lane outer turret, so they're very happy with this push overall. The Herald was successful. They used it exactly where you'd expect them to break one of the hardest structures. Now, they can go towards the bottom side of the map. It's only 17 minutes into the game, and normally, with a lead that feels big, there's actually not a lead, by the way, when you look at the gold across both of these teams. It just feels like W are in complete control. I think that bot lane outer turret is a very viable option for them to try and keep the Gangplank down, kill him before Baron's available, and they can't go down there.
Yeah, now, Dragon will spawn in around 4 minutes from now, so there is a chance for them to do that, but as you said, Baron going to be a thing shortly. Jinjiao on the road actually manning up the top side. Let's take a look at some of the item builds as well, because AmazingJ has finished up his Trinity Force. We've got Nash 2 from the mid lane. Again, the classic Gwynsu's Rage Blade in the bottom lane as well from Jinjiao. They are hitting those item spikes, but probably when we get towards a Baron fight, or when we even get towards the next mountain, we're looking at second items from WE.
It is just very surprising to me that I'm looking at the gold difference being 400 gold. There's an extra turret to Team WE, and it feels like they have more CS across the board, which they do except for the jungle position. Yet it's only 400 gold the difference.
Yeah.
And I'd feel like a lot of that is Gangplank. I was wondering how much of it actually is Gangplank at this stage.
Probably, actually. I was trying to think maybe the supports, because I'm looking at the items, it seems like WE, maybe it's just the fact that they've gone back to base and picked up items, but look, they are slightly further ahead in terms of item builds, so I'm like, what's going on here? Is this literally just a base? It could just be AmazingJ.
Trinity Force obviously being a very expensive item, he has that, and a Core Fields. So he's got a lot of money in terms of itemization, even compared to 957, with the Iceborne Gauntlet working towards the Abyssal Mask.
But it is the Bank of Plank. He's got the coin, Kleptomancy, and he's got his passive as well from Parlay. I'd probably go with yes. And 20 minutes into the game.
And it's not a coin Janna either. So, not a lot of extra income coming from the support position of BLG.
Yep.
There you go. Let's just assume it's Gangplank. We'll roll with it.
Second item from Xiye. Come on. Like, he's got 2 items. Bot lane's about to hit 2 items. Top lane's very close as well.
They're hitting item spikes for sure. And as far as strength is concerned, you know, we mentioned that the gold lead was there. It's starting to stretch out a little bit more currently. It does mean that they can still fight. They feel much more empowered. A Blade of the Ruined King is a big item spike, but having the Zeal with it helps a lot more. Extra move speed and attack speed with the Berserker Greaves. So Kalista's super strong.
Ooh, knock up in the mid lane. Athena, good flash. And the cleanse as well at the very end of that, just in case. It does that every time, but this time it actually did work out.
He threw everything in the kitchen sink into trying to get away there, Athena. He does live, but the pressure starts to mount from Team WE. We're at 20 minutes. Xiye has teleport, and they are threatening the Baron.
Bot lane. Oh, she is getting aggressed on by AmazingJ, who's going to pop the ultimate. Now, I don't know if that was intentional, but Xiye does find it hilarious.
It was a party Zonias. It was a stopwatch, though, so it was clearly a mistake. I immediately looked at AmazingJ's items and was like, does he have a Zonias? Is he messing with us?
No, I was looking at Xiye because he was just busting up laughing. It's like, what are you doing?
Let's hope he doesn't need that stopwatch in the coming fight for BLG.
You know he's going to now.
Because that is super tragic. He was winning the trade as well, force Xiye back, and that's a good, promising move to the side of BLG if their split push is able to control and handle the 1v1.
It is unfortunate, especially because Mountain Dragon's spawning in 20 seconds. Baron's going to be objective, no doubt, shortly. In fact, WE have already made the first steps and started to ward it out. So, combat ready, everything is something that you want on your side. He's even picked up the Ghost Blade, that being AmazingJ.
Yeah. WE have a Mountain Drake, and there's another one spawning in 5 seconds. So, if the game plan is to secure a Baron, I would definitely say that this warrants them moving over to the Mountain Drake as a high priority objective, once again to make their jobs easier when they then transition back over as SKS.
By SKS, yeah, it's right onto Melon. He's taking a lot of damage, but he goes into his own perfect timing stopwatch, and he'll jump right on top of SKS. Maybe his dying breath as Athena will finish him off. Fate's Core comes in and missed it, looking for the re-engage, but out goes the target he was looking for. Ben has to flash out. Now she has turned up to the fight. Turned around back onto AmazingJ. Ben just gets executed by the parlay though, and in comes Death's Daughter enhanced ultimate. Xiye is gonna have to again. Zhonya's ultimate out. Mystic and 957 on the front lines. He dashes away but also falls. And BLG get a massive team fight win.
They do get the fight win. They turn it around directly next to the Baron pit also. Only Xiye and Mystic alive means that they cannot come over. They cannot check this pit, or they risk dying to SKS because he's a tank still. He shouldn't take too much damage to this. Jinjiao should actually be the one tanking it right now so they can secure it. Road doesn't have the Monsoon, but they get it. There's so much damage. Mistake from Team WE. They get caught out of position, but it was proactive by BLG. They actually get the fight. They actually get to make the play. And suddenly look how the game changes.
And frankly, it was really just from SKS right there. He tossed the ultimate, it was like, perfect, well that's the engage. There it is, right onto the enemy jungler.
The amount of damage that's followed up with it as well. Road comes in, is able to secure it. Of course, he's got his eyes set on the damage. Jinjiao also connected with the ultimate. And Athena has been consistently hitting that entire time, playing very well on the Azir, but to scale it up and to secure with those items. From this point, they probably shouldn't have even gone in and made that play in the first place. Yes, it forces a flash, but so does Ben immediately afterwards. And then WE to spend this entire time responding. Xiye also should have just ult Zhonya's his way out at that point instead of flashing the wall. So WE just consistently making mistake after mistake. It gives everything to BLG.
I wonder how big this Baron power play is going to be, because you have to expect it's going to be rather large as they already crack open the mid lane tower. 957's actually the top lane. He's not assisting the team right now. That's another great ultimate onto Ben, and he goes down instantly. Biibili Gaming, they're actually riding this one all the way. 2 towers in the mid lane, now starting to siege the inhibitor tower, and the recoil has just started from 957.
No time to put up the door for Ben. He is gone. AmazingJ, and they go in one more time to find Xiye.
Zhonya's, but there's no ultimate from Xiye, and he'll just fall as well. This is a kill, a tower, a kill, a tower. But the question is, how far can he keep on going?
It doesn't look like they want to stop Pulse. They're continuing to pressure. The minion waves are there. They've got the Baron to empower them further. Even Redemption thrown down.
And WE, if they put one step wrong, another person dies, and this could be a Nexus turret, maybe even more than that. And BLG in one push could end this. Melon's gone for the engage, and they've gone for this one proactively. Road, he swapped the ultimate there as well, and another kill over to BLG. WE, they may actually just lose the game right here.
It does look like they're about to lose Pulse with 2 minions left standing. WE with only 2 members left alive. They just pushed in one fell swoop and they end the game.
I actually cannot believe what I'm watching right now. In one single push, they've gone from outer mid turret to the Nexus, and they're on it itself. Down goes the Ornn. They've done it. BLG will take game 2.
Things that I didn't expect to say in 2018 after that first game is that BLG just ripped apart Team WE.
What just happened?
They were given an inch. It was the first time we've seen in this whole series that they were given anything, and they took the game with it.
Yeah, they found an inch and took a mile. Sure, but it was literally a game where WE were winning until they lost. It was from outer mid-turret to the Nexus.
I think we saw a bit of an insight into why Gangplank's always banned from AmazingJ as well. Picks it second, is able to have a very strong showing on it. The Azir looked good for Athena. I mean, BLG didn't look bad. Even when it felt like they were losing, the gold wasn't substantial. It capped at 2,000 for Team WE at most.
Look at that gold difference, all at the very end of the game. So the first drop was the team fight, and then the second drop was the push from outer to the Nexus there. And AmazingJ's damage plus Athena really just saves it all.
Yeah, ending a game with 5,000 gold, the difference just under, is exceptional to see. Usually it's 10,000. Any less than that, and a team's just very aware of when they can end. But realistically, the reason that it ended is because WE just trickled and died one by one, mispositioning. If they just stopped dying, grouped up as 5 and defended an objective when they're all available, the game probably wouldn't have ended in that position, but BLG just capitalized.
I mean, it was worst case scenario, like a death and then a tower, a death and a tower. They respawn, they die again, and like literally the worst case scenario, but it was still Biibili Gaming. They opened up those situations that they needed to. The first pick, Sejuani, really paid off, and I was really excited to see that in the first place. It's like, this is exactly what they need. It's not like a charge upon the Zag, then jump in. It's, no, you just click the ultimate, and then they actually get engaged. And that actually turned into the win in the end. Anyway, that's it from us. We're going to send it over to the analyst desk to break down a very fast win there from BLG.
Thank you, gentlemen. We are going to do just that. And Frost, before we left the analyst desk, he said, Billy, have to do something. And Biibili Gaming did. They won the game, Frost. How did that happen?
It was beautifully done in team fight execution. I mean, early game, we had some incredible individual performances by both Team WE and Biibili Gaming alike. Rhodes, Janna comes to mind. The amount of times that he caught Jarvan out with the tornado or just flashed forward and hit him with the W nuke, as well as the incredible early, like, 4-minute dive from Melon and Xiye on that Ryze Jarvan combo was just like...
It was great. I think that the early portions of it, everybody was hitting on WE doing really well in the early game just because Melon had a good insight. You already touched on the dive that happened mid.
It was so good.
That
The
was
Ryze to get the cannon creep, as Rusty explained, you know, the cannon wave crashes in. Melon reads the fact that the ward is going to be placed on Raptor Camp, hides himself in the side bush vision, waits for the back to complete, and then looks for the dive.
And of course he times his flag and drag until the duration of Ryze stun was nice. But then, of course, it turns a little bit earlier than we all think it would, because people will look towards the 22-minute team fight. Of course, Azir, man of the match, Mr. Athena, comes out with a victory of it. Gets the incredible Ryze play in that fight.
Is that what it's called, Raz? The Azir man of the match now?
Azir man of the match, it has to be.
Well, the thing is Raz was just talking about how, you know, 22 minutes, you don't necessarily expect that type of damage to come out of the Azir. But he actually went double magic penetration. He had a very early Void Staff, so it was Nashor's Tooth, Void Staff, Sork Pin, as opposed to having the Rylai's because they had the Sejuani. They didn't need the added CC benefit there, and Azir just ripped through them in this team fight.
Well, we have a replay coming up of one of the fights here between the two teams. Now, Frost, go and take us through this one, because this is when Melon got caught out. This changed the game.
I mean, literally, at this point in the fight, you're just like, it's, oh my god, look at that play. That was incredible. Like, the long-range tornado to force Jarvan into perfect timing. Then you have the flash from the SKS and the follow-through from Azir. Varus Jinjiao is now going to flash away from the Braum coming in. It's like so many great individual plays to dodge that much CC and that many skill shots were so well done from Biibili.
And the Monsoon, to just kind of finish it off here, where BLG are able to chase this through because they are healthy enough to win the preceding fight.
Yeah, and then the fact that the Gangplank ultimate wasn't used until the very end of the fight as a chasing maneuver just tells you exactly how well that was going for Biibili. And this is what we expect from this roster and organization. They've never been a good laning team, but they've been an incredible 5v5 team, and we finally got to see it.
And I think the difference going into Game 2, difference between Game 2 and Game 1, were the fact that BLG could defend themselves. Sure, WE had an advantage. It wasn't massive in any case, and they had a real struggle being able to take down mid lane turret, being able to take down top lane turret, because BLG went into a defensive format. Azir, you try and push him down, you actually have to have a strong enough formation to form around mid and to be able to dive him time and time again. Even when they took the outer mid lane tower, it was a difficult point to be able to take the inner, because suddenly Azir just spawned a turret in the outer turret, and you're like, well, wait a second, we just took that. So there was just so much time being bought from Biibili for a moment like that.
And that was the point where the cast was saying, you know, at the end of that match, they gave them an inch and they took a mile. There was one point in the game, Raz, where they caught Braum underneath the inner turret in the mid lane. You said, yep, it's over. It's gone. It's coming back to us in a second. Let's figure out what we're going to talk about. And that's exactly what Biibili Gaming did. They were able to just steamroll the game.
Yeah, it was one crack. Just one crack that they found opening it. And Biibili just kept moving. They got the Baron. It should have stood still. I mean, Zach really said it well. Rusty just said it at the end. They could have just formed 5v5, look for a defense on any turret. Didn't matter. You lose the first turret, okay, just walk towards the inhib turret. You lose that, just don't walk in, don't trickle in and die time and time again, and that's what happened to her.
And we say this all the time about the LPL teams, because the league is so big, because there is so much superstar talent scattered throughout these rosters. You know, if you do give a mistake to one of these, what we would consider kind of a lower tier team, they will take a block off of the higher tier teams. You know, everyone can lose to everyone because the rosters are that stacked.
And Biibili Gaming are definitely looking good now. You know, we questioned them coming into the LPL. We knew that this was the match where they could really prove themselves, and now they're taking it to game number 3. What do we expect for them going into that third and final match of today?
I think more priority for AmazingJ. Raz said it himself, you know, seeing him on that Gangplank pick, it was a completely different version of them, and so I like to see them continue to funnel resources into their top laner.
I agree with that holistically. It doesn't matter what pick it is, if it's the GP, if it's the Camille, if he finally gets it, give AmazingJ what you can.
Well, we're going to go into game number 3 really shortly. We'll break down that game as soon as we can, but first, let's go into a very quick break. We'll be back shortly.